All right, my final race of the day, and this is a lot of races for me in one day. But my final race of the day, this is what, lap race 5 now in Interlagos. Um, I do a little bit better this race. So here's the start. I'm starting in 11th position. I'm way back on the left there. And, again, here we go into the first turn. Let me give you my chase view. However, this turn, for the most part, pretty clean. Until there, we have one person go down. I gained a couple places if somebody had to slow down for it. We got people off the track.
Holy shit, you're retarded.
And the insults start flying. Again, everybody's got cold tires. A lot of people don't take that into account.
When cassette brake, fucking idiot.
It always cracks me up how upset people get. Another driver off the road. This guy on my right's pressing really hard. I'm going to let him. Man, I'm just getting, it felt like initially in this race, I was just getting passed left and right. I get hit from behind there, but I avoid that. But the person who hit me hits that guy. So let's take a look. Let's back that up just a second so you can see what happens from this perspective. I get hit from behind. He crashes into him. That slows him down considerably, easing some pressure on myself. And again, this is just the first lap, so we're making it through the first lap. We make through fairly unscathed. I think we've gained a couple penalty points. I don't know if I gained a penalty point for being hit from the rear like that. Sometimes if you're not hit hard, it says there's a collision, but you don't take any penalties. I don't remember where I was at this point in penalty points. I do accrue a few throughout this race, in particular for off tracks. You can see this guy up front, well, more towards the front. Right here. This is actually Team Redline racing livery. I do not believe this is actually a Team Redline driver. Gabriel Ferrer's 3. I think he's just a fan of Max Verstappen. That is Max Verstappen's racing team, sim racing team. But I don't believe he's a part of it. I think he's just utilizing the livery. All right. Continuing to make our way through lap 2. Again, consistency is key, right? Able to do a nice overtake there. Was pretty pleased with that one. And as I'm driving this race, again, I've had 2 fairly significant races where collisions were such a huge factor. I'm really just trying to avoid the drama at this point. As we come across the line going into lap 3, I am in 11th place, which is where I started. So I'm right where I started. I want to get up into the 10s because that's where I can gain some points. But there's still a long way to go in this race. I see people are pushing hard. You know, when I started racing Interlagos, I wondered what it was going to look like with 24 cars on this small track. And you see it now. I mean, you see the accidents and the collisions and people not being safe. There is a whole lot that can be said for being aware of your surroundings and driving within your ability. And I'm one to talk. Last race, I tried to go a little faster than I should have and screwed up. I like this turn, and I like hugging this curb on this turn. It lets me kind of accelerate out of it pretty quickly. And again, I'm holding tight here on these guys. I do feel like maybe they're drawing a little bit away from me, but there's, as I said, still a long way to go. So I'm going to fast forward through some of this just so you can see the major pieces that happen here. I don't want to bore you with the actual race. I'm losing ground to the two guys in front of me, but driving consistent. Right? I'm making my turns, and I see that they are starting to battle.
Goddamn, bro, you don't look at your mirrors?
And again, once I see this, like the reality is most everybody at this category and class that I'm driving in, meaning my split, are on the lower end of experience. And so a lot of times when they're getting into these tough battles, I think, myself included, we lack the experience to handle them correctly or judge the right moment to make an aggressive approach. And sometimes people are just too aggressive or impatient, and I've been guilty of this myself early on, and I'm starting to learn patience more. But I also need to start practicing racing lines instead of just my qualifying lines. As I said in my previous video, I think if I practice hitting the inside on some of these guys and doing the moves I need to make, I'll feel more comfortable going into those. It won't be off my normal race line. So I'm going to continue to fast forward here until something happens. We are still in 11th place. I just saw those two guys pass this guy. I get past here. We are on lap 6, and that's where I gain a place back, as this guy, again, this corner, if you see how he tries to cut in there. I'm going to back that up again and go to his view so that you can see exactly what he just did. This is his view, but I'm going to go to his chase view so that you can see exactly what it is he does. And I'll play it even in slow motion. So as he comes in, he's trying to go to the inside of this driver, and he's just carrying too much speed as he exits. In this turn, there's really two major turns where I see this kind of issue happen, and it's this turn, and then it is one of the final turns where I see people, where I screwed up my last race, where I see people lose control like that. The driver ahead of me was coming in much faster than me, and I just knew he was going to pass me, and I allowed him through rather than get wrecked. It is.
That was a nice pass, Chris.
Thanks, man.
I sent him a little compliment. People seem to respond well to compliments when you give them, hey, congratulations, that was a great pass or whatever. And you hope that they're gonna just, it makes their day a little bit, and you're gonna get some respect back from them if it comes down to it. You did see a driver up there had gone off the track. He lost a couple places as a result. I'm seeing that and hoping, well, maybe he was clearly very fast at one point, but he lost it in that particular turn, so he's dropped back quite a few places. And that is the Max Verstappen livery there. We have this guy go off and wreck his car. That's he's going to the pits with that. So he's done. We're on lap 7. I'm in 13th place, maybe 12th place at this point. I'm going to fast forward it just a little bit. But it's that turn that I was talking about where people lose it. And in particular, it is this turn here where people lose it a lot. It's just, you're coming in it very fast. It's sharp. You have a tendency to over-rotate there and spin out like you saw me do last video. See where I sit as we cross the line here, the start-finish line. I'm going to say I'm in 12th or 11th position at this point. Nope, still in 13th. Nope, 12th. Okay, I'm in 12th place. Remember, started in 11th. Would love to get into the top 10. Let's see what happens. We carry on being consistent. Consistency is my middle name. I see this guy go wide. He seems to be going very slow. He lets me by. I don't know if he was serving a slowdown penalty or what, but just let me by for whatever reason, which puts me up into 11th place at this point.
Oh, man.
Oh, still in 12th. I'm sorry, still in 12th. So here we come, going into about to reach lap 10. Again, I'm keeping with these guys. I mean, they're ahead of me obviously, but I'm matching their pace. Which is not great at this point. A 137. It's an okay pace. I should be going faster. But again, after my screw up last race, I'm thinking at this point, you know, I don't want to over rotate and screw myself up even further. I'm watching these two, and they are battling pretty heavily. And so I'm thinking, okay, it's going to allow me, one, to catch up to them a bit, and two, potentially they're going to make a mistake. I want to be able to capitalize on that when it happens. Notice I said when it happens and not if it happens, because I'm pretty certain there's going to be a problem here. You can just kind of tell by how aggressive some of the drivers are being that something's going to go wrong. We are on lap 10. There's still 6 laps to go. We're entering lap 11. I am still in 12th place at this point. And you can see the damage to the rear of the car, 22. He's trying to take the inside here, or at least make Max Verstappen's lesser known cousin there think he's going to. He does not. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, he had the opportunity to take that inside and backed off. I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable taking those inside lines. And so I'm going to start practicing that a bit more when I do my practice sessions. Here they are being very aggressive. He's side by side with Max Verstappen. This break in front of me, I went wide almost intentionally there because you're going to see from my perspective how I suddenly just jump right up on his tail as he brakes. I nearly collide with him. And this is what I'm talking about when people are fighting. Like, you got to give them space to make their mistake and then capitalize on it, I think. Especially at, again, this level. We're all amateurs here and so prone to making mistakes. And that's exactly when I find myself in an accident. I'm following Max Verstappen here because I'm drafting off of him, which is helping my pace. But I'm hoping, this is a very tricky area where people try to pass on it. I'm hoping it goes wrong. I gotta admit, I do like the Team Redline livery, but it does feel kind of Spider-Man looking. At this point, my tires are starting to wear. I'm feeling it. You see some bumping going on here. You know, rubbing is racing, but these guys, I'm anticipating at any minute there's going to be a problem. with the way these two are being aggressive with each other. And then again, a hard break. That was probably more my fault than his. But they're almost trying to go 3 abreast at this point. This is a recipe for disaster, the way they're fighting. Be patient, Carl. Let it happen. Be ready for it. I back off a little bit just in case. These guys are really fighting. I'll just draft off of Vax and Verstappen. And here it is, just what I was waiting for. There he goes. Forced off the road by the driver in front of him. Okay, I took advantage of that. Let's see what happens with these two. I was in 11th place going into it. I'm thinking maybe these two are going to collide as well. They're being both pretty aggressive. He swings wide. The other guy gets the advantage. If he wants to swing wide again, that'd be great. I'd love to capitalize on it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, last time, remember, I was pressing myself at this point saying, okay, let's just go just a little faster and see if we can't take a spot. But I hear myself say that, and I think, nope, let's be consistent. Let's do what we came here to do and finish the race, hopefully in a scoring position. Boy, these guys are just really fighting. Goes wide. I'm drafting right off of him. Again, they're fighting pretty heavily, so I'm a little concerned. And his sneaky move where he tries to get him to collide with the wall. I'm going to back out of this. And again, slammed on their brakes there a little earlier than I would have hoped. I take some points for that. But it ultimately kind of pushes me out of the running. It was not an intentional collision, but and to be honest, like, I don't think they're doing anything, you know, crazy. Like, they're not being ridiculously aggressive. I think they're being a little on the tricky side, especially the guy in front at the moment. But you know, I don't think they're out of control. They clearly know what they're doing. Gopihath, Ramchand, and Chris Townsend. Chris is the one who passed me earlier that I told him great pass. And if anything, you know, the interesting thing is I am keeping up with these two. Like, it's, but what I've got to do is change that keeping up to passing. And so that's kind of my next thing I think I'm going to be working on. This is lap 14. Lap 15, we're still doing the same thing. Determined not to smash into the back of him again. Lap 16, we're still in the same position. I'm going to fast forward through this lap. As they're still battling it out. I'm hoping beyond hope just to take advantage of something because I cannot get a pass done here. But ultimately it's not to be. But the good news is
Was in Pisa. Is that pronounce that right? GG.
I end up in 10th place, so I wind up in the points. Not too shabby, especially coming off of my last race. And I feel like the guys I'm competing against now are doing quite better. So this is the results from that race. I gained 17 iRating back because I lost some previously, and I gained a little piece of safety rating just because I had several incidents, and I wind up in 10th place. You know, incidents I had 7, which not too shabby. I'd love to have fewer, but ultimately I collect 49 championship points. Again, not really concerned about championship points at this juncture in my career. I'm not really in it for that level of winning it. But I'm really enjoying the track. I'm going to continue to race it a few more times this week, and then next week we are racing Le Mans, which is a 8-mile track. I don't think it's quite as curvy um, as Nuremberg Ring, thank goodness. So maybe I'll be able to learn that track a bit. I'm going to download it and start practicing on that one probably starting tomorrow. So thanks for watching.